Welcome to the Spiritual Healing Open Sessions. Great that you're here, that you decided to join in this interactive class. First part maybe, it's also interactive because it's a meditation. Like your full activity is asked to extend yourself, to release any kind of self-definition. And the release of self-definition is where we, in fact, continue today. We made a start yesterday with Joel's class, Joel's key lesson, and that's a realization. Spiritual healing is realization. It is not fixing something, making something, repairing something. No. So this is realization, recognition, and how else can you do that? By the release of everything that literally covers your eyes, that blinds you to what is already there. So any idea that you hold is the story. It's like any idea that you hold, that you treasure, that you want to keep, that you protect, in other words, is exactly what's in the way for you to see wholeness, because you think that your focus on that specific thing that makes everything whole in your imagination is necessary to keep and to defend. So today we do this, and that came to me like really beautifully with lesson 23 of A Course in Miracles, which is like, I can escape this world by giving up attack thoughts. And now you say like, I did that lesson. I did that lesson. No, it's not new. And it's like, no, you did not do that lesson. You did not do that lesson. We're going to do this lesson today in a way that you might not have done before. And we will combine this with a very practical forgiveness exercise that will open every door in your consciousness to receive, in fact, or to get sufficiently out of the way to receive what is given, what is yours already, and has nothing to do with anything that you try to protect or defend. So that's, in short, what's going on. And that's the program. But we start with the meditation, which is the lovely lesson of today. Like the hush of heaven holds my heart today. And that's exactly what's going on deep within yourself, beyond all your ideas, beyond all your definitions, beyond all the things that you want to protect, beyond all the things that you don't want to look at. This is the truth about you. So open up. You could say like, open up to what is given by praying this with me. It's a miracle prayer. And so I'll read it to you. Michelle will read it in French, and we'll see it from there. So it's workbook lesson 286 from A Course in Miracles. The hush of heaven holds my heart today. Father, how still today. How quietly do all things fall in place. This is the day that has been chosen as the time in which I come to understand the lesson that there is no need that I do anything. In you is every choice already made. In you has every conflict been resolved. In you is everything I hope to find already given me. Your peace is mine. My heart is quiet and my mind at rest. Your love is heaven. Your love is mine. The stillness of today will give us hope that we have found the way and traveled far along it to a wholly certain goal. Today we will not doubt the end which God Himself has promised us. We trust in Him and in ourselves, who still is one with Him.
Le silence du ciel tient mon cœur aujourd'hui. Père, comme c'est calme aujourd'hui, comme toutes choses tranquillement se mettent en place. Voici le jour qui a été choisi pour être le moment où j'en viens à comprendre la leçon qui enseigne que je n'ai pas besoin de faire quoi que ce soit. En toi, chaque choix est déjà fait. En toi, chaque conflit a été résolu. En toi, tout ce que j'espère trouver m'est déjà donné. Ta paix est la mienne. Mon cœur est tranquille et mon esprit est au repos. Ton amour est le ciel et ton amour est le mien. Le calme d'aujourd'hui nous donnera l'esprit d'avoir trouvé la voie et d'y avoir voyagé loin vers un but entièrement certain. Aujourd'hui, je ne douterai pas de la fin que Dieu lui-même m'a promise. Nous lui faisons confiance ainsi qu'à notre soi, qui est encore un avec lui.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for this moment of praying, like the miracle prayer. Thank you for that. So today, like I said, we're going to dive into lesson 23, and not just to do a lesson, but basically to recognize the the totality of what is being offered in lesson 23 as an continuation of where we were yesterday. Yesterday, in the key lessons of the Infinite Way, I came to the point with Joel's talk. Like at the end of the talk, Joel shares the idea of self-evaluation. Like it's literally impossible to evaluate yourself because you are a definition of yourself. Now you can add more definitions of yourself to it. Like the way that you see yourself, let me start with that. It's like the way that you see yourself or that you think you're functioning is basically your imagination about yourself within a construct of yourself as you see yourself, have made yourself, have seen yourself evolve into. Now these self-definitions are in reality not telling you anything about yourself. So in other words, in order to come in touch with reality and to see yourself for what you are, these definitions need to go. They're of no use to you because they're basically limiting. Any definition is by definition false. So any definition is also not telling you anything about yourself, whether that's being shared with you from someone or from you to someone, or about yourself, looking in the mirror and thinking that is you, or thinking that your spiritual progress is not fast enough, or wondering why you're in pain, or wondering why this, why that. Like the tendency to evaluate yourself seems to be an important part of the spiritual awakening, and it is. But then only to recognize that your definitions don't hold anything. Like your definitions are what is keeping you in chains. Now lesson 23 will tell you all about that. And that's why that came to me like to use, because it's very helpful to actually see this from this perspective. Really, like, the definitions I hold about myself are not telling me anything about myself, but I want to be free of them. Now, within your construct, and this, listen well, it's like within your construct, you cannot be free of them. It's impossible. You literally designed your own self-construct in a sphere of limitation. And there's, in your sense of self, no escape out of. In other words, there's nowhere where it can go. It will be circling around as long as you believe that you are that. It will come back to you. It will show you the same devastation. It will show you the same mistakes. It will show you all the ideas that you ever had. They're still there and they cannot go anywhere within that construct. Now you can imagine this, like you are like in a shell, in a cocoon of nothingness, as the Course says, but it's like in a cocoon, you're in a labyrinth, in a maze of nothingness, circling around within your definitions of yourself, bumping your head against this and that, and it hurts, and thinking that you're something that you're not. Receiving the effects of that in how you feel about yourself, how things are evolving within your own ideas of yourself. Like, it is the Adamic Dream, as we said yesterday too. So this all started and is impersonal. Like, it has nothing to do with you in your true essence, but it has everything to do with you in your limited perspective of yourself. In Genesis 2, Adam received the knowledge of good and evil. We call it knowledge, at least that's what the Bible says. Basically, that's an understanding of good and evil. Knowledge is way beyond understanding and is a divine order. But here we're actually talking about understand or thinking in terms of good and bad, in yes and no, and black and white, and rich and poor, and you name all the differences. Like literally, your self-definition is built from differences and from distances, and yeah, all of that. Like within every little aspect of it, it is well divined. Literally, you start this episode as soon as you're born, developing ideas about yourself that are not supported by your surroundings, by parents that tell you that you are you and this one is someone else, and this one is a stranger, and that one is a black guy, and that one is a white man, and that is a this, and that is a that, and like that just doesn't stop. But it's also like it's a complete picture in itself. It is a complete imagination. It is a cocoon of nothingness, but it's complete in its own limitation. And so, and you really believe that you are that. And that's the difficulty here in the awakening, you could say, because you believe that you are you. And you believe that you are limited, that you don't have all the power to change the things that you want to see differently, or that something can be taken from you, that there's something outside of you, that there's a separation from God, that God is not speaking to you probably because you don't deserve it, because that's another idea you hold about yourself, or that you need to punish yourself because of all your mistakes, or that you need to put someone in shame because you think that you in that way are guilt-free. While you're actually including yourself in the whole equation, because there's no way out of it. Literally, it is self-containment in a broad perspective of self-limitation, which is still very limited. But anyway, so this is good to know. Like, this is the hard part of waking up, seeing that actually the whole story of you doesn't make any sense, and that it doesn't tell you anything about yourself. So any progress or delay or who knows what in it is actually not so helpful to wake up out of it, because it's basically another confirmation that the dream has reality, and it doesn't have any. So that's why we have this beautiful prayer that we just prayed, like the hush of heaven holds my heart. It is like literally I come to the point where I actually see I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything. I've done everything. I try to do everything. I try to get myself out of the limitations that I'm perceiving. I try to do my best to give it all, and to have a good life, or to look for comfort and safety. I tried everything to love one another. All these ideas that I've been walking around with, I have been doing that. And what did that give me? Well, it brought me to the point where I saw like nothing changes in that sense. Nothing changes. Nothing changes fundamentally. I'm still seeing the sick, the poor, the limitation, the hostages. Okay, they're free now. That's so wonderful. I love it. Absolutely. Now, still in a construct of pain and death, and others that seem to be gone, loved ones that are lost, and all the pain associated with that, within this limited construct of beingness. There's no hero here. There's no one who can do it right. There's no one who can, it's like there's no way out of this construct if you believe that you are you. See how difficult that is to actually teach that. How difficult it is to actually hear it. Because what then? If this isn't it, what then? And then you would love to come up with another definition. And we say, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. There's no another definition of you. No, it stops right here. It stops right here by you recognizing the impossibility of the place and the definitions that you find yourself in. That's sufficient. That is sufficient. It's like if you recognize that and admit it with no further intention to repair it, to defend it, to attack it, literally attack it, oh yeah, figuratively attack it too. Like any idea, any kind of little thing that doesn't seem to be right in your perspective of this is binding you to the place of hell, of limitation, of sickness, pain and death, and yeah, losing your loved ones. And all this, like any kind of obstacle, any kind of irritation, any kind of all of this is in fact standing 100% in the way of your salvation, while salvation is in that sense the easiest thing to let occur. You don't need to do anything for it. But then literally nothing. Also not, say, defending yourself. Also not thinking that anything that you see or hear or think has is a reason to attack your brother or defend yourself, which is the same thing. So any kind of hesitation in that is already attack, and salvation is gone. You're tied into this limitation, into this world of self-definition, of duality. So that works that precise. Literally one thought that isn't like whole in itself makes true perception impossible. Any exception that you hold against truth makes Christ's vision impossible. So this is why we need help. This is obvious. So this is my introduction, and now we're going to start to do. I'll read some parts from, say, lesson 23, and take it from there, step by step. We go through it, just because this is such a great lesson. In fact, it's the whole practice of true forgiveness, in the sense of this is the escape out of a world of limitation that you have constructed in your mind. Nobody else did that. You. There's nobody else out there. It's like, no, there's one consciousness. It's yours. And if you believe that any of your limitations are true, you're caught in that cocoon of nothingness. You allow that to expand, to be opened up for true ideas that are coming to you, like that literally are coming to you. You don't have to make them. You don't have to think differently. No, you have to use your mind in a different way. Let it be open to receive it. So this is the mind training, really, in essence. But anyway, lesson 23 is perfect for that. Now, when it's perfect for that, it means this lesson is total in itself. And what that means is this, is like, in fact, it can take you out of your construct. It is a portal to take you out of your construct, to have a whole different experience of yourself that you cannot define, that you had no idea about, that you wouldn't expect to come from this specific lesson. But anyway, so this is the offering, this is the invitation, and now we start with lesson 23. Escaping the world I see. So, oops, that's something else. Well, here we go. I can escape the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. The idea for today contains the whole way out of fear that actually will succeed. This idea contains the only way out of fear that will succeed. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. Nothing else will work. Everything else is meaningless. meaningless. That means it also doesn't have a little bit of meaning. No, it's meaningless, like there's nothing in there. Nothing else will work. But this way cannot fail. Every thought you have makes up some segment of the world you see. And like I said, it is with your thoughts then that we must work if your perception of the world is to be changed. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. The idea for today contains the only way out of fear that will succeed. Nothing else will work, everything else is meaningless. But this way cannot fail. Okay, let's do that then, because yeah, something that works, I love it. If the cause of the world you see is attack thoughts, you must learn that it is these thoughts which you do not want. So there's no point in lamenting the world. There's no point in trying to change the world. It is incapable of change because it is merely an effect. It's like it's reflections. It's not a fact, it is a reflection. But there is indeed a point in changing your thoughts about the world. Here you are changing the cause, and the effects will change automatically. If the cause of the world you see is attack thoughts, you must learn that it is these thoughts which you do not want. You do not want those. So you don't have to attack the world or lamenting, fighting the world, and there's no point in changing the world, trying to make adjustments in the world, in your daily world, trying to make adjustments for the better. No, you've tried that. It wasn't very successful, like not successful at all. You were still in fear. You were still in limitation. So now we have to look at the cause of these. Here you are changing the cause, like the effects will change immediately, automatically. The world you see is a vengeful world, and everything in it is a symbol of vengeance. Each of your perceptions of external reality, what you see out there, is a pictorial representation of your own attack thoughts. One can well ask if this can be called seeing. Is not fantasy a better word for such a process, and hallucination a more appropriate term for the result? You see the world which you have made, right? You've no doubt about that once you have recognized this. You see the world which you have made. I made it because it's a representation of my thoughts. But you do not see yourself as the image maker. You cannot be saved from the world, but you can escape from its cause. And this is what salvation means. For where is the world you see when its cause is gone? Now this is quite mysterious if it's being shared like this. This is what salvation means. For where is the world you see when its cause is gone? What is the cause of this world? Your thoughts. So how does this work then? How does this work then? I'm thinking these thoughts, but these thoughts don't have any meaning. So the one that is making them is not who I truly am, apparently. Now I want to know who I truly am, so that I can see that when the cause of this is gone, that I can actually see a different world. Vision already holds a replacement for everything you think you see now. Loveliness can light your images and so transform them that you will love them, even though they were made of hate, for you will not be making them alone. Okay. The idea for today introduces the thought that you are not trapped in the world you see, because its cause can be changed. This change requires first that the cause be identified, and then let go, so it can be replaced. The first 2 steps in this process require your cooperation, but the final one does not. Cause be identified, step 1. Let go, step 2. Replaced. That's not up to you. That's going to be given to you. By taking the first 2 steps, you will see that this is so. Now this is you could say, the step in the unknown. It's like, wow, this is such a great lesson to use, because it's an actual forgiveness exercise. So we're going to do that later too. And but this is really wonderful. So there are 2 steps that you can do. Like, you can recognize, these are my thoughts. Oh, but I don't want to hold on to them. I'm going to let them go. What do I have to lose by letting them go, since they only represent my attack thoughts to something that isn't there, because there's nothing outside of me. I recognize that it starts with me. I'm responsible for it. We say that. I'm responsible for my thoughts, but these thoughts also have no meaning. So where I'm responsible for, I need to let go. So it can be replaced, and this is the true salvation. So it can be replaced. That is an experience. So I can see it in a different light. That is given to me. That is not something I do. That's not something I can make. That's not a new definition. No, it's a gift. It's a gift of grace, you could say. Like, it's coming to me to be received by me in a whole new experience of myself, because it is beyond my self-definitions, the ones that I've been evaluating over the last 20,000 years. And I'm not going to do that anymore. So here's a new experience of myself taking place today. It's like starting today by doing these exercises, by not coming into new definitions or new ways to defend myself, holding on to my definitions. No, to let everything go for a moment and allow something new to come to me. We say this many times, but here's like, here we practice this really practical, because we're dealing with the world that you see. What do you see? Your definitions of yourself. Like, there's no picture out there that is, say, not part of you. So not part of you as you have defined yourself, I need to say. Now, there's a different way of looking at all of this. If I recognize that, in fact, my definitions have no meaning, and I can see this in a whole different light, then whatever I see, like, it is no longer connected to my limiting beliefs or to my limited definition of myself. But I feel the stirring of God within me in this new experience of myself. Now I look out too. But it doesn't matter what I see. But it's like the light is radiating to it and is being reflected on it. There's shining the darkness away. And I'm seeing this world in a whole new light. So this is like, I have escaped the world that I see. Is the world gone? Yeah, the world that I saw before is gone. I see now a world in a new light. I suddenly see in everyone my dearest friend. I recognized that we are from one source, that we literally are from one source, and have no other, basically no other goal than to unite in the one purpose. And in this we celebrate here, like, this is the possibility to celebrate this. Instead of trying to make the world within my own self-definition, make it work. That's done. That didn't work out. That is impossible. So the request to see this world anew, I want to see this differently, is like lesson 20 as a preparation for this lesson, really, because like the world I see, I can escape the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. If I let go of my attack thoughts, suddenly I see a whole new world with my own eyes. Like literally with these eyes, I'm seeing that in a whole new light. I see in everyone my dearest friend. There is nothing to attack because I recognize it isn't separate from me. No, I forgive everything I see because literally I recognize that we share a common source and that I'm no longer the director or the scenario writer of this story. No, I'm a true effect of God. Like that is the source. Now that light is shining through me to everything I see, joining in this incredible light that is literally visible to me now and recognizable. That is what makes this totally different. So I don't need to evaluate that, except I can rejoice in the happiness it brings me, because I escaped the world of my self-definition. I come into an enlightenment of this world, like a elucidation, you could say, or transcendence of this world, of the world that I have defined. Now I see this totally different, and I can rejoice in what I see. There's no fear any longer because there's nothing out there that can attack me. So this is the change of mind in which the whole world has changed, just because I in fact allowed an adjustment of what is my source, what is the source of what I see. That goes beyond my own self-definition now and sinks deeper and goes higher up. And so I can see this in a different light. Now, lesson 23 continues. So I'll read that too, because it's too beautiful. So this was the method, you could say. This was the way that we did this. We come back to that. In the practice period, be sure to include both your thoughts of attacking or of being attacked. This is the same. Their effects are exactly the same because they are exactly the same. You do not yet recognize this, and you are asked at this time only to treat them as the same in today's practice periods. You might not recognize it, but we do it like this. We are still at the stage of identifying the cause of the world you see. When you finally realize that thoughts of attack and of being attacked are not different, you will be ready to let the cause go. What was the cause? Thinking you're separate from your brother, separate from God. You thought that was the cause of what you see, like self-definition. So this is important. You do not yet recognize this, and you are asked at this time only to treat them as the same in today's practice period. We're still at the stage of identifying the cause of the world you see. When you finally realize that thoughts of attack and of being attacked are not different, you will be ready to let the cause go when you see that. So recognizing that there is nothing outside of me, there's literally nothing outside of me. So being attacked or attacking is the same idea, because like cause and effect are not apart. It is coming together in your experience of yourself. So here's the same thing with your experience of being separate from God. Well, so you actually are an effect of God. So how could the cause, God, be separate from you as an effect of God? That is impossible too. So here it comes together. That, like, it sounds a bit abstract if I say it like this, but in fact you need to get this in a certain sense. Like, you need to get this because there is nothing outside of you. So also not the cause of your true self is not separate from you. It is within you. It is extending. You are the effect of it. You are in God. And God is in you, you can say. Like, I'm a whole part of God. And God is my source. I cannot be separate from him if he's my cause and I'm the effect. In my self-definition, I've tried hard to make the idea real that I can be separate from God. But I release that idea now. I let it go of that because it doesn't make any sense. If God is my source, then there cannot be anything separate from that. If God is all and in all and everything there is. So that's like the mere logic of that is totally helpful. Now this in practicality is then, okay, this in general, this might work easy. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, I can understand this. Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is logic. Ba 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 ba. But then there's this one in front of you where the difficulty starts. Like, you mean this one too? Is this one included in this too? Okay. So looking for distraction here. I'd rather not do this lesson. No, I know. So this is exactly where it's going to be very helpful, because this is about the one guy. We said this the other day too, but it's really fun. In fact, it's like the one guy that you don't want to forgive, to use the word. Like, you want salvation, you want total release of this limitation. You want total release. That means that you cannot exclude anyone or anything or any occurrence from this, because if you do, you place yourself outside of salvation. And salvation is where you feel completely at home, where you feel completely connected, where you feel the love for your brother, where you feel your love for God, and rejoice in that. Like, it's a joy, it's a perfect happiness, it's a perfect joy. It is what you want. So there are just some ideas can be in the way temporarily, but if you keep in mind, like, oh no, I want to release all of that because I want to be experiencing my complete salvation. If there's anything in the way, I want to release that. I want to let that go. So this is like the 3-step practical forgiveness exercise. Now this is the short version. So there's a bigger version. So I'll read it to you. The 3-step practical forgiveness exercise. This exercise is applied whenever you feel any upset, discomfort, judgment, or lack of peace regarding a person, situation, or yourself. Well, so you can basically do this all day long. If you think there's somebody outside of you offending you or making you feel uncomfortable or blah blah, whatever the idea is. Step 1. So for one thing, it's like the exercise that we do is not to increase the punishment or ideas about yourself. No, this is about the release of it, and also, in fact, to just do the first 2 steps, like recognizing the true cause and choose to release the interpretation that you have as an ego mind, a self-contained, self-defined ego mind. And the next step, step 3, is in fact receive the Holy Spirit's correction, the replacement of that. Like, that is where salvation really becomes yours as a direct experience of direct freedom from your upsets and interpretations. So the exercise is applied when you feel any upset, discomfort, judgment, or a lack of peace regarding a person, situation, or even yourself, or God, or yeah. Recognize the true cause of your upset. And this is the mind's choice. When you feel disturbed, stop and recognize that the cause is not outside of you, but is an interpretation you have made in your mind. The key shift is recognizing that you are responsible for what you see and the feelings that you are experiencing, because they stem from the teacher you choose in that moment, ego and fear, rather than Holy Spirit and love. So it's like the key shift is recognizing that you are responsible for what you see and what you experience, and they start with the idea that you chose a teacher, your own ego, fear, rather than love or Holy Spirit. Recognizing the true cause of your upset, your mind's choice. What did you choose? I chose to listen to fear. I chose to contract. I chose to project. I chose to defend. I choose to judge. That's why that happened. So it's not a matter of good or bad. It's just a matter of, oh yeah, that's the cause of it. The cause of upset was that, thinking that there's something outside of me that can attack me. Now step 2. Choose to release the ego's interpretation. Like whatever I thought about myself or about my brother or about God or about the situation, I'm going to let go of that in order to be able to receive the correction that is going to be given to me as an experience of expansion, of love, of release, of connectedness. Yeah, so that's why I choose to release the interpretation that I have made, the judgment I made. I release that. So 2 steps, these are the ones that you do yourself. Now here's the thing. We're going to do this together. And not that you have to expand on your upsets or your judgments or who knows what you did. No, you can make a short thing for you of a situation that you were not even aware of that was actually a judgment or a lack of peace, or you feel upset because of something outside of you. You can share a little bit about that, but it's more essential for you to see that that's happening within you. So your brother, so you do this with the 2 of you. It's like your brother is just going to listen. He has not any idea. He doesn't need to respond to it necessarily in terms of, oh, whoa, that's really bad that you did that, or blah, blah, blah. No. He's just the listening ear, like almost like the empty chair meditation we did last time. It's like he is going to be the listening ear, the whole heart that is just accepting it, taking it in, letting it, like receiving it really as a receiver. And so you change your roles by having the opportunity to share with your brother your upset and your interpretation of it, and come to the point where you are willing to let go of it. And then both you will be quiet, like that will be another 5 minutes. The first thing 5 minutes, the second, on step 3, 5 minutes to receive the Holy Spirit's correction. It's really lovely to do it like this. So yes, any questions so far? Is it clear?